If you're sick of the same meal prep every single week, then this beef and sweet potato hash is going to be for you. It costs only a couple of dollars per portion, it stores and reheats really well, and it tastes fantastic. Starting out, this right here is all of the ingredients. There really isn't much to this recipe. Now we're going to start this off with 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds of sweet potato. You can use regular potatoes, even butternut pumpkin or squash, or a mix of all of them. That choice is all yours. But go through and then peel all of these up. Slice it in half. It's going to make things a lot easier to work with. And then what we're going to do is slice it into strips. Stack a couple of those strips up and just slice into battens. Rotate, and then dice into cubes. Doing it this way, everything is going to be consistent. And you are more than welcome to cut them any size you prefer, but remember that the larger they are, the longer they are going to take to cook. Once that's done, we can start adding all of this to a bowl. Add in 1 tablespoon of olive oil, a nice pinch of salt, and some cracked black pepper. 20 cracks worth. Get in there with clean hands and just quickly give this all a mix through. Tip it out onto a large tray, and then just spread this around so it's not sitting on top of one another. And I understand most people probably don't have a tray this size. You can just do it over 2. And also I recommend using parchment paper instead of foil. I don't have any parchment paper, and I just did a little bit of spray oil just on there just to make sure nothing sticks. Anyway, once that's done, place these into an oven at 220 degrees Celsius or about 430 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 to 30 minutes, mixing them around halfway through. And if you want air fry instructions, I'll have them in the link in the description. In the meantime, we'll dice 2 brown or yellow onions. Just take off the tip and slice them in half and peel them. Once you have that done, just make thin slices across, stopping at that root. Do the horizontal slice if you like to do it. And then dice into small to medium-sized pieces, going all the way to the end and trimming off any excess flesh from around that root, just so we have minimal waste. Along with the onion, we need 5 cloves of garlic, and we're going to separate 1, as 1 is going to be used in our sauce, and then the 4 is going to be used in the beef mix. Once you have that 1 done, we can just scrape that out and set it aside. And then just go through and continue with the remaining 4. And again, once that's done, just scrape it all out of there. Now add that 1 clove of garlic into a bowl. Follow that up with 1 cup of high protein or low fat yogurt. Slice off about 1/4 of a lemon, just make sure that there's no seeds. And then we can squeeze in that juice. Like I said, make sure no seeds decide to hop in, and you can use as much or as little lemon juice as you prefer. Season with a touch of salt. Either use cracked black pepper or ground white pepper. The amounts are completely up to you, but around 10 cracks worth. And all we need to do is mix this to combine. Double check it for seasoning, just with more acid if you need to, more lemon juice that is. I'm going to add mine into a squeezy bottle. It's just going to make things a lot easier when it comes to serving, but you can just spoon this over at the end. It's not really that big of an issue. Then place on a lid and chuck this in the fridge until we're ready to serve. Now for the beef, place a large pan over a medium-high heat. Add in 1 tablespoon or 20 milliliters of olive oil, and once the pan is hot, add in the onions and saute for about 3 to 4 minutes. You can add in a pinch of salt as well. Mix these around regularly, and what we're looking for is that nice golden color and for the onions to have a slight transparency to them. Once that's done, add in the 4 cloves of grated garlic, break it up because it can clump up quite easily once it's been grated, and mix it around and cook it for about 1 minute until it's nice and fragrant. In goes the beef mince. I'm using 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds of 5% fat lean beef mince or ground beef. Add in a touch of salt and cracked black pepper, 10 cracks worth. Let it sit for about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes to build a crust. You can also spread it around a little bit. Break it up and cook for about 6 to 8 minutes or until no longer pink and most of the moisture has evaporated. Add in 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of dried thyme and 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, and then mix around and cook for a further 1 minute or until that Worcestershire sauce is thoroughly mixed through. This is going to create a really nice savory flavor, and you should have something that looks like this, and that meat will start to caramelize. Also at this stage, the potatoes will most likely be done, so we can remove them and set them aside for the time being. To the beef, add in 120 grams or 4.2 ounces of washed baby spinach. This only takes a couple of minutes to wilt through, so just keep mixing it until it's completely broken down. Then we can add in all of that sweet potato, and this should be cooked perfectly. It shouldn't be completely mushy, so when you mix this all through, those potatoes still hold their shape. If they do happen to break down, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. It probably just means that you have cut them a little bit too small, so if you make it again, just cut them on the larger side.
Once everything's mixed together, we can start serving this up. This is 5 750 milliliter containers. It works out to be about 500 grams per portion and about 45 grams of the yogurt sauce over the top. I'm also garnishing them with a little bit of flat leaf parsley. It is completely optional. And on screen is the macros for a single portion with the remaining nutrition values and the full written recipe in the link in the description. Let them cool down for about 20 minutes, then place on the lids. These can go in the fridge for up to 4 days and in the freezer for up to 3 months.
So with all said and done, there's one thing left to do, and that is we can then dig in. For how simple this dish is, you really can't go wrong. I'm not going to stand here and lie to you and say it's the best thing in the world that I've ever made, because it isn't, but it is still delicious for how simple and cheap it is. You probably get a 6th portion out of it as well, making the calories even lower as well as the price. But overall, it is a fantastic dish. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit that thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't already, along with hitting the bell notification next to it so you never miss when I upload. Thanks for watching.